Hi, I'm Clara from OnlineFabricStore. With the Shibori pole dyeing technique, you can create unique striped patterns. They can range from fairly regular lines to fluid ripple-like designs. So let's get started. The materials you'll need are fabric or an item of clothing, RIT dye, fixative, which is optional, salt, which is optional, PVC pipe or another cylindrical object, twine or rope, a spoon, rubber bands, a container for dyeing, rubber gloves, and also plastic to cover your workspace and a pot for boiling water. There's many different ways you can wrap the fabric. Here, I'm folding the fabric in half and wrapping it diagonally. For best results, use a fabric made from natural fibers like cotton and pre-wash the fabric. Put a rubber band around the pole so it's holding the end of the fabric. Tie the twine to the rubber band and start wrapping it tightly around the fabric. PVC pipe is a common material for the pole, but you can use anything cylindrical that you have. I'm using a mason jar. The more fabric you have, the bigger your pole will need to be. After a couple of inches, put on another rubber band to keep the twine from unraveling as you scrunch up the fabric. Continue to do this until all the fabric is wrapped. Another method is to wrap the fabric around the pole and scrunch it up before wrapping it with the twine. This will create a more irregular fluid pattern. You can also try different thicknesses of twine or rope. The twine I'm using is dyed, so in hot water it will come off on the fabric. This could add to the pattern, but use an undyed material if you don't want this. Make sure your workspace is covered with plastic or something to protect it from staining. Soak the fabric in warm water and squeeze out the excess. For the dye bath, heat at least enough water to cover the wrapped fabric if you're going to submerge the whole thing. With the water near boiling, pour it into a container. Put on rubber gloves and add the dye, shaking it first. I'm using aquamarine RIT dye. If you're dyeing cotton, rayon, or linen fabric, adding salt will help the dye absorb better. Stir the dye bath thoroughly. The amount of dye you use will depend on the color you want to achieve, the amount of water you're using, and the amount of fabric. Place the fabric into the dye and let it sit for about 10 minutes or more. You can also paint or pour on the dye instead of, or in addition to submerging it. I'm going to add more colors this way. Prepare a small amount of dye. I'm using teal RIT dye. Take the fabric out of the first color and squeeze out the excess water. Pour the second color over different parts of the fabric. For a third color, I'm using navy blue RIT dye. This time, I'm applying it with an eyedropper to be more precise. Let it sit for about another 10 minutes. An optional step is to use a fixative to help preserve the color when washing. I'm spraying it on directly, but you can also mix it with water and submerge the fabric. Attach a spray nozzle to the fixative or put it in a spray bottle and saturate the fabric. Rinse in warm water, then cold, until the water runs clear. Unwrap the fabric as you rinse. Machine wash on cold and dry. Experiment with different ways to wrap the pole and multiple colors to create unique patterns of your own. Thanks for watching this OFS project.